I'm not the shadow in someone else's story anymore. The words scorched my chest as I arranged the dining table for Evelyn's 66th birthday, the scent of grilled sea bass with dill sauce mingling with the warm crumble of a blackberry cobbler I'd baked from scratch. I'd dug out the old tablecloth she loved, cream with delicate ivy patterns, the one she'd once teased me for keeping despite its faded hem. The table was set for 5, Evelyn at the center, her knitting circle friend Ruth, our Uncle Neil, and 2 neighbors who'd watched me grow up sneaking apples from their trees. I poured chilled Sauvignon Blanc, offered smiles as I passed the plates, and nearly convinced myself this was affection. Then Evelyn raised her glass, her smile sharp as broken glass. "To aging with freedom," she said, her eyes pinning me. "And to cutting loose what holds you back. Frankly, Nora, my best gift would be you walking out of my life." Silence gripped the room. Ruth adjusted her scarf. Neil's glass paused midair. I met Evelyn's gaze, my heart thudding. I didn't ask her to repeat it. I didn't need to hear the blade twice. I stood, murmured a polite excuse, and drifted to the kitchen. I let cold water stream over my wrists until they stung. Then I grabbed my jacket and slipped out the side door, leaving the cobbler untouched. That night, I sat in my attic apartment, jacket still on, staring at a sink stacked with wine-streaked glasses. Evelyn's words echoed, deliberate and honed, as if she'd been carving them for years. I thought of her past birthdays, beaded bracelets I'd crafted as a kid, the string lights I'd hung across her balcony in my 20s. Years spent chasing a warmth she never meant to share. I stowed the cobbler in the fridge, ignored the dishes, and went to bed with her voice ringing like a verdict. At dawn, I opened my notebook to a blank page. It stared back, unyielding. My pen lingered, waiting for courage. Memories flooded in. I was 28 when I abandoned my curator apprenticeship. Evelyn had twisted her ankle on her stoop, her voice trembling over the phone. "You're my only family, Nora." I told my advisor I'd pause. "Just a term," he urged. I never went back. I moved into her apartment, thinking it was short-term. Years dissolved into routines, clinics, pill bottles, market runs. I took a job at a second-hand bookshop, close enough to rush home. Relationships fizzled, I sidestepped talk of my future. When Evelyn wanted to update the apartment, I agreed. She painted my cozy mustard walls sterile gray, swapped my woven rug for polished wood. "It's sophisticated," she said. I told myself it was fine. I let her discard my flea market lamp, chuckled when she called it gaudy. I bent to every demand, shrinking into her orbit. That morning, the truth hit. It wasn't loyalty, it was erasure. I wrote, I surrendered my life to keep her from feeling alone, but never asked if I could dream beyond her needs. The ink smudged. I tore the page, folded it, and hid it in my notebook sleeve. Then I rifled through my desk for lease agreements, bank records, anything tethering me to her. Sleep evaded me that night. My mind churned through moments I should have spoken, should have claimed myself. I hadn't. I'd waited for her to shatter me before I named it. At first light, I brewed tea I didn't drink and wrote, I'd been written out of my own existence. I underlined it, then listed Evelyn's access, joined accounts, my passwords on her counter, our shared lease. I circled what to change first, called the bank for an appointment, and found a lawyer, Elena Voss, in a nearby city. Her name felt solid, unadorned. I kept it secret, not from Neil, not from neighbors, not from Evelyn. This wasn't vengeance. It was oxygen. I scanned the apartment with fresh eyes. What was mine? What had I lost without noticing? My gaze landed on the cedar box my mother left me, tucked under a shelf. I opened it, expecting her old locket. Empty. The next day, I met Elena. Evelyn sensed the shift. I stopped nudging her about doctor's visits, cooked only for myself in a small pot. She lingered, offering forced smiles, commenting on my jacket like she was playing mother. One morning, she brought me tepid tea and slightly charred biscuits. "You look worn out," she said, her tone syrupy. "We haven't chatted since, you know." "Your birthday?" I asked. She winced. Oh, Nora, it was just the wine. A silly quip. I nodded, didn't open the door wider. At the bank, the manager's eyes narrowed. Regular transfers to another account, she said. Small, but steady, $6,200 this year. I stayed silent. I knew. That evening, I found Evelyn sorting laundry. I saw the transfers, I said. She stiffened. What? It was for us, repairs, your bike, my pills. You didn't ask. She huffed. You're making a fuss over nothing. We share everything, Nora. Share? I said. I've been funding you. She called me ungrateful, her voice spiking. I walked away, locked my door, not from fear, but to draw a line. A letter arrived, no sender noted. The script was familiar, Mrs. Langley, the quiet retiree downstairs. Asterisk Dear Nora, I've seen you dim to lift others. You are not invisible. You are not mistaken. With care, Miriam Langley asterisk I read it thrice, the words grounding me. I slipped it into my notebook beside the torn page. That night, I ate alone, washed my plate, and searched for a notary. Elena had prepared the documents, freezing accounts, revising the lease, updating my will. I signed without pause. Evelyn noticed. You're acting strange, she said, her tone sharp. I didn't respond. Then the messages came, Neil, neighbors, Ruth. Evelyn says you're shutting her out, Neil texted. After all she's done? I muted my phone. Evelyn's movements grew loud, doors banging, cups clattering. I wrote, asterisk I'm not hurting her. I'm reclaiming me asterisk. Days later, a notarized notice arrived. By week's end, Evelyn was gone. Her bag scraped the floor at dawn, her voice biting as she called a ride. The car hummed, then faded. Silence settled, not heavy but vast. I hung my mother's old tapestry in the hall, swapped the lights for warm ones, draped a wool blanket over the sofa. I opened every window, let the breeze carry her trace away. I enrolled in a ceramics class at the community hub. The studio smelled of earth and promise. No one knew my past, only my hands on the clay. The teacher, Lila, said, "We're here to create, not to be flawless." My first mug wobbled, but it was mine. At home, I painted a wall ochre, moved the bookshelf, framed a sketch of a sparrow. I sang softly while stirring soup, the sound surprising me. Then Evelyn called. I'm ill, she whispered. Tests found something. The kids miss you. I miss you. Her voice broke. I didn't mean it. I stared at my sparrow sketch, its lines catching the dusk. I hope you're getting help, I said. Can we meet? She urged. I can't shrink again to make you feel whole, I replied. She hung up. The next day, I planted cosmos in the courtyard, each seed a quiet oath. A knock came, 2 boys from downstairs, holding a jar of scones. Mom says your flowers make her smile, one said. I thanked them, set the jar on my counter. That night, I wrote, asterisk I thought losing her would unravel me. But I was waiting to be found, asterisk I lit a candle, turned the page, and began again.